So I tried to do it the nice way, and I went into one of the buildings and I asked them if I could film in there to show you guys the inside of the old school trading floors, and they said no. And I tried to ask why, and he said something that I didn't quite understand, but I think it's because of basically protecting trade secrecy, as in not showing the prices for everything, not showing exactly what people are selling. And there's a historical reason for this. When this district, Huaqiangbei, started, it was a hub for trading from Chinese manufacturers selling to exporters, usually agents who were also Chinese. And a lot of these manufacturers were making whatever they thought would sell. And really, whether such a thing as copyright or original design existed and should be catered to, that never came into the equation. This was a sort of a very old style Chinese way of doing business, which is you find out what sells and you make a lot of it, and you make it cheaper than anyone else. You capture the market, right? So back in the day, you could buy basically any counterfeit popular brand of electronics here. You could buy fake iPhones, fake Samsungs, and basically the people who started getting their feet wet on this eventually got good enough to make the phone that I'm using right now, the Huawei P30. Coming from assembling and manufacturing Samsungs and iPhones via the big manufacturing companies in the south of China, in the Guangdong province, eventually turns into making your own replica phone, because you're not ready yet to design your own phone, to make your own product. You make a replica, you make a fake iPhone as good as you can, and you sell it for half the price that Apple does. And some people are happy with that. And then eventually you move on to making your own phone, right? So I was not allowed to film the trading stands, but basically back in the day, before people started buying everything online, this is where you went to buy any electronics almost anywhere in the world. And so owning even a few square meters of store space in this area could make you hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. So the rent for some of these storefronts and inside the buildings was a bit of a frenzy. If you got in here and you got the right connections to buy goods and resell them here to international exporters, or you find a client that comes here because people came here from the US, from Europe, to find a supplier for the goods they want to sell, right? You got to design, you know what your customer wants, but you don't want to make it in the US or Europe because you want to use Chinese labor and you want to use Chinese taxes, or rather the lack of them. So you came here and you asked somebody if they had the engineers and the factory and the labor. Although the labor was sort of a given. If you opened a factory here, you'd fill it with people relatively fast, and people would move into this area from the inland of China, where it was poor and in many ways still is, and they would sleep here in dormitories together and work 16-hour shifts and then go to sleep and do it again for a few years, until they saved up and can buy a house back in the home village, or buy yourself a new phone or a new car or whatever it is people started to want once the economy really got started in China in the 90s and the early 2000s. So yeah, and then all of this got sold here through agents. I went to a place, I wanted to buy a few, it was a tablet, and I wanted to buy just one for myself, a very cheap one, maybe 30 euros. And he's like, no, you need to buy 300, right? And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm a consumer, I'm not a sourcing agent. So a lot of these stores, they wouldn't sell for anything less than $10,000 or $5,000 worth of an order. Now, as you can see behind me, this has changed. Shopping has moved online, and whilst a lot of electronics is still here and there's a lot of repair here going on, a lot of parts being sold, it's also slowly becoming a huge shopping mall. And by some measurements, if you count the space in the buildings around me, the storefront space in the street, and the fact that this entire boulevard has an underground shopping mall the same length of this street. It goes on for 4 kilometers or something like it. This is, by some measures, the largest shopping mall in the